Hello and welcome. Today we have a VOD review on Ilios. Looks like we got a Platinum Soldier 76. I've never seen this video before, so I'll be commenting in real time. Note that we have just done the first two rounds of the, we skipped the first two rounds of this match. This player said they got reverse sweep, so I decided to just do the this part of the video since I usually only have about 10, 15, 20 minutes to do VOD reviews. So let's focus on these parts. So cool, let's get started. Real quick, just a quick mention. Let's talk about team comp 222. Not a whole lot to say here. As Soldier, you're gonna have to make kind of a decision sometimes to kind of pair with Zenyatta probably. Oh, and you don't have a Pharah, so the Mercy. That's interesting. Yeah. So, okay. So you'll probably have to kind of pair with this Zenyatta a bit. And then at times break off to go for flanks. But for the most part, I'm not sure what the enemy team has been running because I skipped this part of the video. So I'm not sure if they're running Tracers and Genji. So we'll play it by ear as time goes on. But you're going to have to kind of pick between those two things. Okay.
Round 3. Capture the objective.
Greetings.
Okay, this is fine so far. I think right now, so the enemy's not showing, right? Which means that they're either on this side. Oh, let me change colors. They're either on this side or both. And probably both, actually. They probably have people on different sides. So as Soldier, I think this side is pretty good to kind of poke and play around. So I would push that right side, that room a little bit, see what the enemy's showing, and then play it from there. Okay. And I'm going to turn down the volume just a teeny bit. Okay. So this is pretty decent. What you're doing, like you're kind of just mirroring what they're doing. I think that's a McCree right here, or is that a Reaper? I can't quite tell. But you just you have like this kind of just head-on situation where you're just kind of looking at each other doing damage. Not horrible. If you were doing this with like say an Orisa or a Reinhardt, I would prefer this because you have the shield and lots of vision. But DM doesn't last very long. It's probably going to be depleted soon. So again, I would have liked to see you poke on that right side area. You're kind of just pretty exposed here without like a shield. So okay, that was a good Helix rocket. Good zoning tool. You might have done a good amount of damage to him. Okay. That's good. Actually, let me see that one more time.
Green orbs.
Okay.
Can't see you, Genji.
Oh, do they have an Orisa? Interesting. Yeah, that's totally an Orisa. That's cool. Okay, I don't mind this flank. Let me see it again. I'm not quite sure. Oh, did you stop to reload? Oh, okay. You had 18 though.
Can't see you, Genji.
Oh, 14. You had 14 bullets. This reload's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, then you go sprinting. A little slow on the reaction there. That's okay. So that should have been a kill actually, but that's fine. Okay. Sorry, what I mean to say is I think like right there, your aim should be good enough to get a kill like this. Not too bad actually. You're platinum level. Actually, you know what? Obviously, if you want to climb, you're gonna have to improve your aim. Always the case. Just always need to work on your aim. That being said, your aim for a platinum soldier so far seems fine. Helix rocket usage seems fine, so that's great. So we'll keep going.
Where's the orbs?
Let me see that one more time. So right here, you kind of tunnel onto the Reaper, which I don't mind. See, it's actually unfortunate because you don't have Orisa's health bar, but I suspect that you should have actually attacked her right now. That being said, going for that low health Reaper, he literally he just needs one more hit, so that's not a horrible thing. So let's see what happens.
Where's the orbs?
Okay, so he gets healed as we can see here. So you probably want to stick onto the Reaper actually at this distance. Go for a Helix and go for the left click. You could also, well, actually you shouldn't. So Mercy's right here, right? Presumably. So you could go around to attack her, but that's almost certainly a bad idea. Right now, you want to keep this distance, which you're actually kind of dangerously close to this Reaper. So for right now, at this point in the game, the best thing you should be doing right now is attacking this Reaper and keeping this kind of distance. But ideally, you want to kind of back off. So if he pushes forwards towards you, you probably want to, you know, kind of backpedal while you shoot at him. But you do have Helix rocket up, so you should be able to bring him down right now. Okay. Ah, but you went for the Zarya. Okay.
Mercy orb. Versus orb again.
Nice, nice, nice.
You ain't seen me.
Cool. Clean up, clean up, clean up. Hit the Helix. Nice. All right. So far, your play's pretty decent. I would have liked to see you go for that Reaper there. At the beginning, I would like to see you go for that right side flank. Cool.
Bye, Reaper.
Nice. It's a good Zen. Okay. So kind of like we talked about in the beginning of the video about like breaking off for flanks and sticking with your Zenyatta. This part of the map in Ilios is kind of volatile. Like there's lots of like weird corners and pillars and things like that. So you have to be really careful about your positioning here. You got to pick. Your Zenyatta got to pick. So it's 6v5. So feel free to get aggressive, but don't stray too far from your team. But what I would like you to do right now is just to peek out a little bit and then like right here and then get some line of sight. See if you can find some kills. Okay. Yes, exactly. Okay, so there's an Orisa over there. Okay, cool. So yeah, poke the shield. That's fine. Just, you know, don't get too aggressive here. Play off your team. If you were like a Genji or a Tracer, I'd be telling you to flank down that left side. But you're a soldier. You shouldn't be going for a super deep flank here. It's a little dangerous. So this is good. The quality's not so great. Okay. Oh, I think you were shooting her shield as opposed to the Zarya bubble. So I think that's acceptable. Good. So your Genji died. Let me see. So at this point, your team's not in a good position here. Oh man, that Genji dying was pretty bad. So let's let this play a little bit. So actually right here where I paused it, right here, you could probably just, because Genji's dead, you could probably start looking for a safer distance from afar. So I would start backing up. I'd sprint back to a safer position, get a little bit of high ground on you know, somewhere like probably where you started off the match, somewhere around there, and then just start poking from there. So you kind of get aggressive here, and it looks like you get in front of your tanks actually. Let's see. Yeah, so like you're kind of frontlining. You do not want to be doing this as soldier, right? This is worst case scenario as soldier. This is probably the most egregious mistake you've made thus far in this match. Cool, and you back off. Okay, and actually I don't mind you here so much. This is pretty decent. This is good. Oh, you were reloading. Okay, so how much ammo did you have? No, that's fine. 17. So you're a little bit trigger happy on the on the reloading. So far it hasn't been that bad. I've seen worse. I've seen people who like, you know, chronically reload at like 20 or 24 bullets a soldier, which is, you know, which you don't want to do. You're not that much better though. So I need you to be more patient with your clip. Don't be afraid to exhaust your clip. Right here, you reloaded, which if I'm not mistaken, I haven't played soldier in a while actually. You can't sprint while you're reloading. And I don't believe sprint cancels reload. So, yes, you probably should not have reloaded, and that would have given you time to actually sprint out of this Zenyatta. And actually, the quality is really bad, but I play a ton of Zenyatta, and I've played a lot against him. Right now, he's making his animation where he's right-clicking. So he actually tags you with a few. I forget how many, but when you see this when you're facing against Zenyatta, you have to be so careful because right clicks are coming, which they do. He tags you 108 twice, I think, and then it looks like something else hits you. Is that right? 108. Or actually, was that one headshot? Oh, 108. Yeah, I think that's one headshot, 92 damage. So he tagged you with one headshot out of that entire right click. You're lucky he didn't kill you, actually. A really good Zenyatta would just kill you right there. Cool.
Reaper right side.
Okay. So let's talk about your strength. So, okay, just kidding. We're going to put a pause on that.
Oh, McCree left.
You're back. I like that. Good. Okay, yeah. Let's see that again. I like that you backed off. Then you get really aggressive here. Actually, which I don't mind because unfortunately your Helix rocket was a little bit too low. You didn't do enough damage to this Zenyatta. You could have killed him actually. Okay, interesting question. Now the question is, do you use Tac Visor? Let's look at the kill feed. It's about even except for the fact that you lost your Diva mech. Yeah. Oh, and you lost Genji earlier, but he should be back soon. So right here, we can see Genji is actually just about to spawn. So right here, he's probably back. Yeah. Okay, so do you Tac Visor? Oh, actually, and we're here at this point. I would say I would turn around to quickly assess the situation, and probably yes, I probably would Tac Visor if I saw a decent opportunity. Okay.
Good.
Oh, but you don't want to be Tac Visoring with 79 health. But you're about to get a health pack, so that's great. You guys just killed Supercharger. So yeah, I would look for a Tac Visor here, but not just right away. I would, assess the situation just really quickly for like a second. I would look at health bars, look at my teammates, and then make the call.
I've got you in my
Okay, so you're just going for it. That's cool too. Let's see if it works out. And yeah, actually, I don't mind this given the circumstances. This isn't a horrible Tac Visor, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, get around me then. Versus orbs.
Okay, so you got the Transcendence out. Right here. Okay. Right here, you got a safe distance. You're at 147 health. You have Orb of Harmony on you. You could just turn around and start shooting. You don't actually have to go all the way up to high ground. That being said, this isn't a horrible decision, but I would have liked to see you, turn around, backpedal while shooting, and then go for the high ground. So kind of like multitasking. Get that Helix rocket. Nice, nice, nice. A little bit slow on the Helix rocket, actually. Let me see that. Right here. Oh, do you put down your biotic field? Oh, you do. I really don't like that, actually. Well, I don't hate it, but the first thing, in my opinion, you needed to do was get that Helix rocket out onto that McCree. You knew where he was, and then go for some left clicks. You still killed him, so that's great. But yeah. Although, he did get Deadeye off before you killed him, so let's look at that. Maybe you could save that Mercy, actually, if you do the correct sequence of attack, of abilities. Maybe. It's kind of hard to say. How many shots did you get off? We can't see. The quality's not so great, and it's on kind of white background. So, I don't know. I say there's a decent chance, actually, with that you actually can kill him, especially you see Diva is kind of attacking him. Actually, she's probably DMing him. Actually, it looks like the DM ran out, or I guess she's dead, actually. She probably just died. Anyways, point of all this is that there's a chance you actually save Mercy if you, or rather, that Deadeye doesn't even go off, and you're potentially helping other of your other allies as well if you Helix and then go for the left clicks right away. And then after that, you can potentially do Biotic Field depending on the situation. Okay, so the fight's over. You definitely need to just sprint away and get back to your spawn area. Run, run. Nope, nope, don't do that. Nope, nope. This is... Okay, so the only good thing about this is that you're getting some ultimate charge. Aside from that, you're not going to turn this fight around, and stalling would be almost pointless. You're just going to give them ult charge as well. So your best bet is to get back to your teammates and avoid a stagger. So we'll see. Yeah, I think you still have time actually to turn around and sprint. So yeah, so that's actually a pretty big error. There was no reason to stick around. You just kind of cost your team a little bit of time. You gave Reaper some ult charge and etc. etc. So pretty pointless play right there. Okay.
So we have Zarya. Who else is there? Oh, almost.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Again, again. So I would like you to kind of play with this area over here, like this kind of general area. I think it's pretty decent as soldier. Yeah. So we'll see what you do right now. I'd like you to go there right now, actually.
3 left side, 4.
Okay, actually, you're going on this left side, which I don't mind because Orisa is really tight to that right side. So I find that you're flanking on this left side perfectly acceptable, so that's cool. Oh.
Oh, Reaper blind, Reaper blind.
Good. Wait, what? Oh, I see. You're trying to help your Zen's dead, but is this your Mercy? Let me see that.
Fire at will.
And actually, you could already hear him, but you were prioritizing the Graviton Surge, which I think is perfectly reasonable.
Oh, Reaper blind, Reaper blind.
And then self-destruct. Okay, so then you go to help the Reaper. Yeah, actually, this is good. This is good. I like what you're doing here. You probably want to put a Biotic Field down. Well, actually, but you kind of need to prioritize killing him. How much health did she have, Mercy?
Oh, Reaper blind, Reaper blind.
She's about a little over half. Nah, I think what you're doing is fine. Just go for the kill, force the Wraith form. That's better than wasting the time it would take to put down the Biotic Field. So this is good.
Oh, sweet, thanks.
She gets the res, okay. Let me see that again.
Oh.
See, left click, left click, left click.
Oh, sweet, thanks.
What? Let me see that again.
Oh, sweet,
I mean,
thanks.
so obviously you could have aimed better there. That being said, you picked the right side. Now let's not worry about like the nitty-gritty details. I think this is acceptable so far.
First orb. One. Then orb.
See that Biotic Field.
One.
So this is the second time that you put down a Biotic Field with full health. There are times where you can put a Biotic Field when at full health when you're expecting to take a lot of damage, like in the near future, or maybe some like kind of persistent slow damage. But in this case, again, this is like I said, this is the second time you put down Biotic Field when you had full health, and I don't think in either case you actually really took damage that necessitated that Biotic Field so to be dropped so soon. So
Zen orbs.
cool. Oh, what the heck was that? Was that a Dragon Blade? Okay, whoa, you're being really risky here. McCree is one of those characters. I'm pretty sure that's McCree right in front of you. McCree is one of those characters that can literally drop you in half a second. One headshot, one body shot, in the span of half a second. McCree can do that. So, you know, and that's assuming he doesn't just like combat roll and flashbang you. You know, combat roll towards you, flashbang you, and then just kill you. Which would be pretty risky in his for him to do in this situation. But you know, he, like I said, he can just actually kill you at this distance with that combo, with the left click headshot, left click body shot combo. So you got to be really careful. Yeah, this is really dangerous what you're doing right here.
I'm gonna play back a little bit.
I think, oh yeah, this is so risky, my friend. I think you're trying to itch out that last bit of ultimate charge because you're at 86%. But this is so risky. This is how your Genji died last time, which cost you the point, if I'm not mistaken, because you guys lost after that. Yeah. Whew, so lucky. Okay. So you run away. I'm glad you did.
All systems.
It's a good Helix rocket.
First low. On point.
Again, this is the second time you used Tac Visor where it was a little bit too soon. You kind of want to assess the situation and see. Well, first, ideally, you want to burn your Helix rocket, which actually you're at 4-second cooldown, so that's fine. You want to burn your clip, and then you Tac Visor. That's generally the best use case of Tac Visor. You don't just want to like run into the fight and just like immediately use it without using some of your other cooldowns and exhausting your clip. So generally the case. So here again, you kind of use it pretty soon, and actually before you have anyone in position to really attack. It sounds like you actually got the Transcendence from Genji though. Let me see. Or sorry, from the Transcendence from Zenyatta. Sorry.
First low. On point.
Oh, I love it. So you know that Genji, or see, so that Zenyatta, I think was thinking that, you know, oh crap, Tac Visor, I gotta pop trans, but actually, you don't really have much to shoot here. This McCree, pretty much everyone here on your screen can, you know, kind of dodge out of cover. Well, Lucio actually just dove in, which is pretty silly, but you got to risk it here. So you got someone here who can hide. So not a great Tac Visor. You're lucky actually at this level that this Zenyatta, or rather, you're lucky that Zenyatta used Transcendence in the first place. I'm not sure what he saw on his screen, but maybe it made sense for him. But you know, typically at this level, you're gonna see mistakes like that. Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Low on point.
Ah, he did save that McCree with trans though. Just he could have saved it. Okay, cool. So let's. I'm assuming you guys are gonna lose this. Oh, actually, oh, there's 50. Oh, there's still a lot of percent left. Okay, let's watch it. Okay.
I'm not a young man.
All right, let's see. Okay, so right there, you put a lot of damage into that Zarya bubble. And I don't even think she even took damage from you, maybe a teeny bit. An important skill to master is when a Zarya is like fishing for charge versus she's using it to like tank. Typically when she's using it to tank, that's when you want to burn it down, assuming there's no better target on your screen. Because again, she's trying to tank, and while at the same time also trying to build charge, right? But typically, when a Zarya is kind of like the closest, so let me just kind of lay out like a tanking scenario. Let's say you're on Hollywood, on defense, and let's say so you're a Hollywood point A defense, you're soldier, and maybe the opponent Reinhardt shield just broke. Zarya might move in front of her her Reinhardt, put up her bubble to kind of like take up space and create space for him to kind of hide behind, and she'll kind of face tank for a moment. That's a pretty good situation where assuming again there's no better target to attack, your whole team can just kind of like focus on her and try to burn her down, or at least get her to critical levels. This is like a fishing situation where she's kind of just like poking out before the fight has actually really started, and a lot of your teammates actually don't really have good vision of her. Like she's in like this tiny little choke. You had good line of sight. Whoops, you got hit. Yeah, right here. Sorry, that horrible arrow. You had really good line of sight. But maybe your teammates didn't so much, right? Because they kind of get blocked by this wall and this wall over here. So that's a clear case of she's just trying to fish for Zarya for charge, and you just gave it to her. So that's going to require some awareness on your part to know who's with you, to know if you can burn her down quickly versus not. But yeah, this is a pretty good example of her just trying to fish for charge. So pretty big error, because you just gave her presumably, I don't know, 40 charge or maybe a little bit less. And again, I'd like you to use that right room. You haven't used it once. I think that's a pretty big error on your part.
Oh, Zen. That was scary.
So like, okay.
Oh, Zen.
Where is?
That was scary.
Okay. Let's kind of take a look at this. You got Mercy in front of you. You got Zenyatta, Zarya, Diva up front, and then I don't know where your Genji is. These kinds of situations are okay, specifically for like McCrees and soldiers. Excuse me. When you know that a Genji or Tracer, like maybe the entire game he's been hounding your Zenyatta, and you're kind of expecting to like surprise them and get a pick on them, and then once you do, you push forward. In fact, what is their team comp? I haven't been paying attention too much to the opponent team comp. They have the Reaper, and I think the McCree. Yeah, I don't think they have a Genji or a Tracer. So, because they lack that really strong flanking power, or like a Sombra too, because they lack that strong flanking power, situations like this, you pretty much don't want to be in them. Like we talked about earlier, like if you're going to pair with your Zenyatta, you don't really have a reason to most of this time. Yeah, sometimes Reaper will get a flank off, but Reaper doesn't have the same ability because of his lack of mobility to get nice, deep, clean flanks as Zenyatta and as Tracers, Genji, Sombras, right? Like he can flank obviously, but this whole game I think he just flanked that one time. So all of this is to say that you being here not very useful for your team. You want to be kind of be flanking on the sides as opposed to kind of bodyguarding this Zen. Yeah, so. Let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you like saw or heard a Reaper. So let me see.
Oh, Zen.
Actually, yeah. What was that noise? Oh, I think that was Orisa. Okay.
Oh, Zen.
And I didn't hear a teleporter or a shadow step or whatever it's called. Okay, so you're flanking on this left side. Okay.
Reaper.
My servants never die.
Get.
Go for it, just go for it. She's orbed.
Yeah. So you kind of clumped up with your team there. Okay. I think I've actually seen enough of your video to kind of wrap up my commentary. So let me kind of just outline my thoughts. Strengths. Helix Rocket usage is pretty good. For a Platinum player, I think your Helix Rocket is good. Your tracking is pretty good. Obviously, your tracking, you should probably improve it just in general if you expect to climb. But that being said, that's not the weak part of your game. You're actually pretty decent with that. Let's talk weaknesses. Biotic field usage, pretty abysmal actually. That it's pretty poor, and it's one of those things that isn't quite obvious that it's holding you back. But you're just using it a little too soon most of the time. Cool. Let's talk about your sprinting. I feel like there were actually some moments where you were kind of like trying to do it, like you were trying to go around like a pillar, for instance, to like fight someone, and you wouldn't use sprint. And there are cases actually when you don't want to do that sometimes, but I feel like in general, maybe try to up your sprint usage. You kind of want to be sprinting all the time when possible. And that sounds obvious to say, but there were times where I feel like you actually weren't using your sprint button in like these tiny little micro situations. Cool. Attack visor usage, pretty bad actually as well. That's probably, in terms of abilities, that's probably worse. That's probably holding you back more than the biotic field usage. Your attack visors, you use them too early in the fights. It's similar to your biotic field. It feels like as like a player, you're maybe trying to preempt things, and it's okay to use tac visor really early in a fight. I like tac visors to open up fights. I think it's a great way to do it, especially if you can do it as a flank on the sides. Like really good examples like street phases of most maps. Excellent places to use tac visor, especially on high ground. But that doesn't mean that you need to open up like your attack sequence with tac visor. You can start off with the helix, get some left clicks, try to get someone low, and then turn on the tac visor. And like it'd be great if you could also just kind of get a lay of the land. Let your teammates position up, make sure they're not low, make sure they're ready to kind of follow up on your tac visor pressure, and make sure your teammates are your opponents are also in a not so great position. Try to massage them into a position that's uncomfortable. You're going to do that with flanking, which segues into probably the most important thing, which is your positioning. Plain and simple, you're fighting too close to your opponents. You're clumping up with your teammates too much, and you're not looking for flanking opportunities. And that being said, like we talked about at the beginning of the video, pairing up with like your Zenyatta, totally reasonable. Especially when your opponents are bringing a lot of flanking firepower to the table. In this case, they just had the Reaper, and he wasn't really flanking that much, except that one time. So, and to boot, like if you had been covering like that right side better, like that flanking side that I wanted you to cover, maybe he can't get that flank off as easily. Maybe you'll actually just contest him and dissuade him from actually making that flank. And Reaper is pretty unique in that case because he can actually teleport to like interesting spots from interesting angles. But you would have had to make him work harder for it. And at this level, a lot of players are just going to be like, oh, soldier's there. Well, okay, I'm going to back off. Especially a Reaper who doesn't excel unless he's really close to his opponents. So work on all those things. You will improve if you will climb if you improve on those things. Let me do a little bit of your McCree, and then we'll stop the VOD review. Okay. I like. Oh yes. Oh, and then you missed the left click. Okay, so the correct combo here is actually left click the head, stun, left click the head, dead. Specifically because he's teleporting and he can't move. That does enough damage. So yeah, do that. You could also, I guess, left click, flashbang, then combat roll. Excuse me, right click. Sorry, left click, flashbang, right click. But I think left click in this situation, left click, flashbang, left click is better. Okay. Oh.
Behind us. Bottom left.
Oh, okay. Actually, you messed up there. I think. Let me see.
Behind us.
He was actually. So he's actually right behind you.
Bottom left.
So like you can actually see on the screen. Oh, he's right there. It's kind of hard to tell, I think, but whoops, sorry about that. That is him right there. Oh, okay.
Bottom left.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Reaper's on.
Unfortunately, I don't have any advice for that besides just pay more attention. Oh, that's a good one. Nice. I like it. Really quick.
Rope again.
No, because you were reloading. Okay, so no, that's good. That's perfect. That's great. That's great. That's good. Okay, actually, let me see that. And you combat roll. Okay, nice. Well, you were in the zone. I feel like you were feeling it. And considering you killed Soldier, yeah, this is fine. I like this. No, I like this play so far.
It's fine. We got someone. Reaper behind us.
Missing some shots there. So it feels like you're a little bit hot and cold with your McCree. To be honest, if you actually get that really, that free kill that you missed on Reaper, you probably just win this, considering what I've seen so far. That being said, it feels like you're really hot and cold, like to the extreme. Like you're missing some really easy shots and you get some really nice shots, right after, and then you kind of teeter back and forth.
Oh, thanks.
Nice.
Watch out, Reaper behind.
Similar to Soldier, you're kind of playing a little bit kind of aggressive. You're kind of pushing a little bit too far forward. And in this particular, so like kind of like what you're doing right now, right there. In that previous fight, you didn't get punished for it too heavily. But I can already tell you're playing a similar style where you're being very aggressive with your McCree. And there are times where it's okay to do that. Like when we saw where you got that nice flashbang and right click onto the Soldier. That kind of positioning was okay. But then when you kind of push forward to that Zen, and then afterwards when you died, like that's getting more and more aggressive. And again, like I don't want to make any like I don't want to make hard and fast rules for you right here. But in general, it feels like you need to play at a little bit of a safer distance as McCree. At 20 meters, McCree is super deadly. You just have to trust your aim. Like if you don't trust your aim, that you can't aim at that distance, at like the 20 to 25, maybe 30 meter range, then plain and simple, you just shouldn't be playing McCree. So maybe it feels like you don't trust your aim so much. So as a crutch, you're moving forward. It's kind of one of those things that works until it doesn't. Like until you kind of get stuffed by competent front lines. Because you just can't really be doing that all the time. Again, there are times where it's okay to do that. That's acceptable. But in general, it feels like you need to tone it down a bit. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if that does or does not. Okay, cool. I'm going to wrap this up. Yeah, I think we'll just end it here. So if you like the video, please subscribe. I hope the video was educational. Thank you.